Well, good morning. Here it is. We've made it. It's Friday morning, and anyway, I hope that you've had a good week. Of course, today it's October the 20th, and you got a little over a week to go in this month. But anyway, I hope you had a great Thursday. I hope you had a wonderful day of maybe working towards trying to start finishing up whatever projects you're working on, or anything, whatever else you may be doing. And anyway, now it's Friday morning, and hopefully you can wind things down today, and toward the weekend. We're on the threshold of another weekend. And anyway, this morning I'd like to share with you a devotional entitled "Please Be Patient." In the book of James is an it's an extremely practical book. It takes the great truths of the Christian faith, and then it attaches a so what, so to speak, afterward. We discover that these truths, what they mean to us, and then how they can affect our lives. In chapter 5 in the book of James, James shares, important principles regarding, what we should be doing, as believers who are, waiting for the Lord's return. And he writes the following in chapter 5, verses 7 and 8. Dear brothers and sisters, be patient as you wait for the Lord's return. Consider the farmers who patiently wait for the rains in the fall and in the spring. They eagerly look for the valuable harvest to ripen. You too must be patient. Take courage, for the coming of the Lord is near. James tells us that farmers, wait for the early and the latter rains. They also look eagerly or, expectantly, for the harvest to ripen. Now, farmers today, use sophisticated technology. I'm amazed at what they can do. I mean, not only do they have, advanced irrigation systems, but, they can take satellite photos of their property, so that they know which parts of their fields need more water, and, which parts have enough or maybe too much. They can harness this technology to harvest their crops. However, the ancient farmers, they didn't have modern irrigation systems. They depended completely on the rain to sustain their crops. They had to wait for the rain. And the early rains over in Israel, usually arrived in late October or early November. They softened the hard, the baked soil for plowing. And then the latter rains came in late April and May. And these were essential for the crops, to mature. But if a farmer, grew impatient and maybe, tried to harvest the seed before it was ready, he could uproot the entire process. He simply had to wait. No crop appears overnight. Well, except, a crop of weeds, of course. I mean, isn't it amazing how quickly weeds, can grow? I'm amazed at that. We will, carefully nurture a little plant that, that we're growing, and, it might gain an inch or two, over time. But meanwhile, the weeds have grown 3 feet high, it seems like. They need no help whatsoever. If we want a good spiritual harvest, in our lives, it takes time. We must be patient. And if we're waiting for the return of Christ, we must be patient as well. I mean, yet that's difficult to do, in our on-demand culture that we live in today. I mean, listen, we don't have to wait and save money to purchase something we want. I mean, we want it now. We feel that we deserve it, so we discharge it. But, as we wait for the Lord's return, we need to remember that, God is not bound by our schedules. I mean, he has his own. The Bible tells us in Galatians chapter 4, verses 4 and 5, but when the right time came, God sent his son, born of a woman, subject to the law. God sent him to buy freedom for us who were slaves to the law, so that he could adopt us as his very own children. You see, Jesus, he'll come at the appointed time, and only God knows when that'll be. And just as he came, the first time at the appointed hour, he will come the second time in the same way. And, as we've been talking about, we need to live expectantly, every day, but be patient at the same time. God's going to have his way, in our lives. And that day will come when he returns, when he raptures us out first. And he will have victory. And we can be assured of that. But anyway, I hope that encourages you here on this Friday morning, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, on Friday, if you find yourself, close to Hydro on Sunday morning and you don't have a place to worship, come join us at Hydro First Baptist Church. We'd love for you to come worship with us. But anyway, remember, Angie and I love you guys. We're praying for you. And Lord willing, I'll see you soon. God bless you.